Our last session for today is a panel discussion session which will discuss specifically on the preservation of and access to Malaysia's documentary heritage in the context of the UNESCO Recommendation and Memory of the World Programme. Without further ado, please welcome on stage Yang Berbahagia Dato Nafisah binti Ahmad, Director General, National Library of Malaysia, Associate Professor Dr. Noorhidawati binti Abdullah, Department of Library and Information Science, Malaya University, Associate Professor Dr. Azman bin Mat Isa, Director of Strategic Communication to the Vice Chancellor, University of Technology, Mara, and our moderator, Associate Professor Dr. Zuraida binti Abdul Manaf, Head of Malaysia Citation Centre, Higher Education Department, Ministry of Higher Education, Malaysia. Please welcome on stage.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to all participants of the International Symposium on Preservation and Access, Southeast Asian Documentary Heritage in Digital Age. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the last session, and I hope that you are still with the symposium. And now we are going to discuss a topic entitled Preservation of and Access to Malaysia's Documentary Heritage in the context of the UNESCO Recommendation and Memory of the World Programme. I have three panelists with me now who will discuss and provide some inputs and insight on preservation and access of Malaysia's documentary heritage. And before we start with the discussion, let me introduce them to you. The first panelist is Dato Nafisah Ahmad. She is currently the Director General of the National Library of Malaysia and has been working with libraries across the country for the past 30 years. Among the mega national projects that she was involved are development of National Union Catalogue, International Islamic Digital Libraries, U-Pustaka project. She is also the President of the Association of Malaysian Librarians, and she holds a Bachelor from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia and Postgraduate Diploma in Library and Information Science from UiTM. The second panelist is Associate Professor Dr. Azman Maisa, our only guy here. Okay, he is currently the Director of Strategic Communication to the Vice Chancellor, University Technology Mara, and he has a mixed academic background with PhD in Humanities Computing from Humanities Advanced Technology and Information Institute, University of Glasgow, MA in Electronic Communication and Publishing from University College London, Postgraduate Diploma in Library Science, and Bachelor Honours Mathematics from University Putra Malaysia. His research interests include information governance, records management, information risk management, and electronic records management. And our third panelist is Associate Professor Dr. Noorhidawati Abdullah. Currently, she is an Associate Professor at Department of Library and Information Science in the Faculty of Computer Science and Information Technology, University Malaya. Graduated with BIT, Science and Management System, and MIT, Management of Information System from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia, and she obtained her PhD from University of Strathclyde, Glasgow. Her research interests included information behavior, digital library, social media, information management, open access, scholarly publication, and bibliometrics. So, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the history, there have been continuous attempts made to record culture to mark the importance of preserving the knowledge of civilization. The degree and nature of these activities vary, ranging from simple cave painting to more sophisticated system of classification. But one thing that has remained a constant is the fundamental fact that the universe of knowledge is forever expanding and must be preserved. These include the documentary heritage. So, ladies and gentlemen, the world is facing an unprecedented loss of valuable cultural heritage information due to several factors such as natural causes, but of all the causes of destruction, man's action have been the main factor. In 1992, UNESCO established Memory of the World Programme with Objective to facilitate preservation of the world's documentary heritage, to assist universal access to documentary heritage, to increase awareness worldwide of the existence and significance of documentary heritage. It shows that UNESCO has recognized the fact that protection and enhancement of cultural and heritage diversity should be promoted as an essential facet of human development. The adoption of Universal Declaration of Cultural Diversity in 2001 is the statement where the importance of cultural heritage as the agent that links each individual of community with its own history. With that note, let's start with Dato Nafisah. Maybe Dato, you can tell us what are the initiatives that has or will be taken by the National Library of Malaysia towards preserving the Malaysia's documentary heritage resources.
Thank you, Dr. Zuraida. Thank you, Organizing Committee, for inviting me to this session. As the National Library of the World, I think our function is equally the same. As a National Library, our responsibility is actually to collect, to document, or to conserve, to document, and as well as to provide access to whatever we collect. So in this case, the National Library of Malaysia, we have two acts actually to empower us to do our job. We have the National Library Act 1987, and we also have the Depository of the Library Material Act 1986. So with these two acts, we play our role as the National Center for the National Heritage. So in this juncture, we are maybe realize that the importance of preserving the documentary heritage as early as 1985, where the Cabinet has approved the establishment of National Center for Malay Manuscript in the National Library. So where we focus on collecting, documenting, preserve, as well as providing access to the Malay manuscript that we collect. So as mentioned by Puan Kamarah just now, so the Dewan Bahasa and Pustaka focus on literary and literature manuscript, but we collect everything related to Malay manuscript. So from there, until now, we already have about 4,886 originally written Malay manuscript, which we preserve and we convert. Last time we convert to the microfilm, and starting from I think late 1990s, we started digitize this document. So in the pipeline, hopefully this year, so we'll be having a mega project for digitization of Malay manuscript when the government approved some allocation for us to embark on the digitization project. So currently we are able to digitize about 30% of this Malay manuscript, which maybe comprise about 1,000 titles. So this content can be accessed through our repository, as well as through our digital library, which we call Ubiquitous Library or U-Pustaka. So we are just started to put more content to be accessed through this U-Pustaka. Beside manuscript or Malay manuscript, we also digitize rare book, which we also collected, National Library of Malaysia, and the amount, I think, in terms of pages, maybe more than manuscript, but the title comparatively is very, very small. So all this content later should be able to access through the U-Pustaka. And as Eric mentioned just now, so we are also involved in the ASEAN Digital Library project, and selected a manuscript, Malay manuscript has been documented and also accessed through this content. That is in terms of effort for preservation and collecting. And at the same time, we will convert our normal cataloging, which we use Mark 21. I think most of the librarians know what is Mark 21, but we are now moved to adopt RDA, Resource Description and Access, which we think will be given more experience to the user to get the content, as well as maybe to be linked with the other resources about the same content or the same title. So I can see this is actually expanding, and the society also, and the awareness of society of the importance of Malay manuscript is increasing. So this is actually achieved through our aggressive promotion about this Malay manuscript, because whatever resources or whatever knowledge actually in the Malay manuscript actually represent our local genius. So now we are promoting manuscript to share a local genius that we inherit from our previous generation. And apart from that, we also collaborate with universities, research institute to do research based on our manuscript and come up with a publication. For example, we have now published through the collaboration with Forest Research Institute Malaysia, and come up with the kitab tip or medical book that actually as a result from the Malay manuscript, research on the Malay manuscript. So I think for the National Library, we will continue with this project forever until maybe a total of 10,000 Malay manuscript from all over the world will be kept in Malaysia, not in terms of original manuscript, but as long as we able to get content either in microform or maybe in the digital format, we will do so. And I think the latest project actually, we are now developing Union Catalogue for Malay manuscript. So based on whatever we have in the National Library, together with what we trace in UK, US, Netherlands, South Africa, so we'll be putting in this database. And the next step will be maybe as the next phase to be linked with the content from all these institutions from all over the world. So I think for maybe enough for at this point.
As an introduction to the topic. Okay, thank you, Dato. I think it's a great, National Library has done a great job in preserving the national heritage. Okay, besides that, I believe that at universities also, Dr. Azman, we have done something, universities also have done something to preserve the national heritage. So maybe you can describe a little bit what are the initiatives that have been done by the universities in terms of research and also initiative?
Okay. All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam satu Malaysia. And a very good afternoon to ladies and gentlemen. I thought it's not my turn yet, because normally gentlemen will make way for ladies. Right? Okay. Well, actually in UITM, in the Faculty of Information Management, we focus on two areas with regards to preservation and access. And in terms of heritage, we are now focusing on oral history. Eric has pointed out that. And for your information, every semester we have about 50 to 60 students. So this is the biggest number of human resource that we can get, right? So that is what we are doing now. And the strategy is, right, to assign these students to certain categories that we have identified, to interview people, especially veterans, right, to capture their knowledge. And this is very invaluable knowledge that we have to keep in our custody. And at the moment, we have about 1,000 interviews in our collection. And our immediate plan is to publish them. We transcribe them, and of course, we analyze them and put them in context. So that is the reason why we need to do research. And apart from that, our faculty is planning to make it available online. We do have the system now, but the problem is just to buy the software because it's quite costly, right? So at the moment, the collection is there, right? And we are really sure about this. Every semester we can have about, if we have 60 students, so about 30 interviews can be conducted every semester. So in a year, we can get about 60, right? So in the long run, we can be certain that in your ITM, we have huge collection of oral history. So, and this is very important because we believe that it is not just, hands-on for our students, but more importantly, if we can see it from a bigger perspective, because Malaysia is, everyone knows, a multiracial country, right? And we have to preserve this in a way for a younger generation to understand why we are here now and where we're going in the future. The government has introduced what we call Transformasi Nasional or National Transformation Plan 2050. So we plan for the future. It will be very difficult for us if we do not understand our history. So our job in the Faculty of Information Management is not just to preserve the past, but to understand the past is more important. So this is the element of research that need to be imbued with the, the oral history document that we have. And I would like to highlight this. It's not a mantra, but we frequently say this, right? Preserving the past, challenging the present, and shaping the future. So the role of academic institution is not just to preserve, but to understand the past. Then only we can shape, we can challenge the present and shape the future. So this is, it takes time for us to reach or to get the result. But I do believe that where patience is there, right, the job will get done. So I believe that the reason why ladies and gentlemen are still here because of the patient, right? So we enjoy what we do. Challenges become an obsession to us, right? And when we manage to overcome it, it's a satisfaction, right? We do not expect praise from others, but satisfaction is always our aim. So believe it, big scale or small scale, as long as we contribute to our profession, to our knowledge, and definitely to the development of the nation, that is what we aim for. So I think to conclude this first round, in University Technology Mara, we really focus on oral history, a part of other things in preserving cultural heritage, because we believe that we should utilize our resources and make full benefit of it. Thank you very much.
Okay. It seems currently, as you mentioned, you have, I think, almost 1,000 interview in your collection. in your collection.
Yes.
Is there any effort you would like to collaborate with other institutions, the cultural institution, to make sure that this 1,000 collection can be accessible while waiting for software and all that?
Yes, definitely. Because one is good, but two is better. Right? So I believe that collaborative effort is what we are looking forward. Right? We have National Library here. Right? We also have Dewan Bahasa and Pustaka. We also have University Kebangsaan Malaysia. So it's time for us to collaborate, because it's some sort of like blue ocean strategy, right? We minimize use of resources, but for better benefit. So that's a way forward for this.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Azman. And ladies and gentlemen, technological advancement have significantly changed the way information is generated, collected, organized, presented, disseminated, shared, and used. And digitization technology has proven to be possible for nearly every format and medium held by cultural institutions, from maps to manuscript, images to sound recordings. Digitization can also be considered as preservation option while providing unparalleled access available to all. But I believe that there are also some issues that need special attention when talking about technology, especially with the evolution of technology itself. Digital cultural heritage information is at risk of disappearing and becoming inaccessible because ever-changing data formats and the fact that software and hardware become obsolete quickly. With that, maybe Dr. Noorhidawati would like to explain to us how should we handle the issue of technology for digital documentary heritage.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to Dr. Zuraida, Dr. Nafisah, and also Dr. Azman and members of the floor. Okay, in addressing the issues on how fast the technology and software advancement become quickly obsolete, I cannot disagree more, saying that yes, the technology are very fast, okay, and the advancement will be obsolete quickly. Okay, therefore, I believe that we need to keep up with the technology. All right, the current technology will obsolete tomorrow, maybe, or in a few weeks or months. Okay, therefore, we need to be able to keep up with the technology by getting more knowledge on that. Okay, get into the training, right, and be able to embrace ourselves in the advancement of the technology, right, by taking courses, trainings, and all. Okay, like last time we have Web 2.1, Web 1.0 technology, where the personal computers belong to us. Okay, later on we have Web 2.0, right, where social media comes in, and it becomes more for us to interactively interact with the resources, okay, and peoples. Okay, nowadays it has come to the Web 3.0 technologies, where semantic web is emerged. Okay, then last time we have digitized. Okay, and nowadays I believe that all the organization related to library, museums, and archive has been digitizing their materials. Okay, and the process has been done, I believe, since 1990s, right? And when it comes to digitization, it's not only on preservation, but also to provide access mainly to the digitized materials. This is important for us to be able to know what is available through digitization. Okay? In terms of technology, it might be able for us to be aware more on what is available online. Okay? For example, we can go through open access, but it is actually will be based on the policy mainly from the governments and organizations that handle the issues on policies and all.
Okay, when you talk about preservation, does it mean that we need to have a proper preservation strategy to ensure the sustainability of the digital content?
In terms of preservation itself, I think, right, the most important part is the policy, all right? And what are the available instruments that you have, basically doing the digitization and preservation. But in terms of access, right, because it is a digitized collection, okay, we can have to opt whether to have our own server, okay, in providing the digital content, okay. But in handling the server or maintaining the server is another problem because, again, the software and hardware will become, will change over time, from time to time. It's quite fast. One option is to actually be able to involve or embark into maybe cloud computing software, cloud server, yeah, saying that we do not have to maintain our own physical server. Instead, we paying the organization, okay, or the company, industry, okay, to handle, to host our materials, okay, and be able to maintain that later on. Okay, this is one of the solution, maybe. All right.
Okay, thank you, Doc. And ladies and gentlemen, I think everybody knows that UNESCO has come up with a recommendation concerning the preservation of and access to documentary heritage, including in digital form. And from the point of view of Dato, Nafisah, what will be the biggest challenge for Malaysia in adopting the recommendation, especially in developing awareness raising and capacity building measure and policies?
I didn't listen to the morning session, but I believe the most important challenges facing by the institution or memory institution in Malaysia is actually the the collaboration in terms of collecting, documenting, provide access, because as we heard this afternoon, Puan Kamaria, I think almost doing the same thing as the National Library, even focus just on the literary and literature, but we also have other institutions like archive, museum, and other institutions also doing the same thing. I know about a few libraries, few university libraries also collecting the Malay manuscript, and as well as research institute. So this is actually our great challenges, because I believe if, let's say, you come together, not under the same roof, but we come together, adopt this recommendation, and we appoint maybe a leader for this this recommendation. I think the in terms of governance, in terms of access, I think more easier. Currently, if let's say anybody from this hall want to access content about Malay manuscript, you have to go to maybe 3-4 portals to get the resources. So that's why we come up with the ubiquitous library for the to be a single gateway for any information managed by libraries in this country, up to the rural library. So I think this is a way forward for Malaysia, that we want to have this ubiquitous library portal as a single gateway to access information from Malaysia. And also in terms of expertise, I think we should have many expertise in different areas. So if let's say everybody doing the same thing, I think we lost a lot of resources. We will lose a lot of expertise, and also maybe as for the ICT, I can see that we'll be invest a lot of money to maintain our own system, compare with one single system that will handle all this. For Malaysia, we are quite lucky because there are central agency or take an effort to consolidate all servers from the government department and agency, where we can park our server, or maybe we can use the server to store our content. So this is actually what we are doing now with the MAMPU, Malaysian Unit for Modernization. So we are collaborating with MAMPU for this ubiquitous library project. We are putting our servers at their office, and we save a lot of money in terms of maintaining these servers, because everything will be under the central agency. So for me, the great challenge is actually to have a consolidated effort to ensure this recommendation will be successfully implemented in Malaysia. And also the other point maybe in terms of accessing, I think somebody has been mentioned just now, we should have only one gateway to access any information, but the content can be parked on the institution itself. Same as we have what is ASEAN Digital Library Project. The content will be managed by the National Library of the ASEAN countries, but we just send metadata to Singapore, and we access through ASEAN Digital Library portal. So I think that project can be copied to almost every country in this ASEAN region, I believe, and this will be a great success in the future. As mentioned by Prof. Sarah just now, Europeana, so we are looking towards having that kind of system for this region also. Other than that, as a global problem, I assume, finance is actually the great challenges for us especially. So during this time, we receive budget only a little to acquire the resources, because we don't buy this documentary heritage, we just give them a token. If you want to buy, so maybe whatever budget has been given to the government to us, maybe not enough. So, and also we don't have enough fund to maybe to do research from based on the manuscript, and also to train or to exchange expertise with the other countries in the world. So I think, but we still need to do our job, so we have to collaborate. So as National Library, we are now actively collaborate with universities in terms of research, in terms of maybe building up human capital, and as well as maybe to train the future generation to establish passion in themselves to continue our job, because we are here 30 years, maybe later, if let's say we don't groom our future generation, because current generation just actually based, I mean their life actually depend so much on the electronic gadget. So we have to bring our content to their gadget through apps, whatever it is. And also, we have to instill love for the documentary heritage in our younger generation. So that is challenging for us because we need to build expertise, not within 5 years, maybe 10 years, to know how to read Malay manuscript, old Malay manuscript, and also how to evaluate the paper or the content that we receive from the supplier or from the individual. So because that is actually the main challenges currently in Malaysia. Besides, the other important things actually to get whatever now kept by individual in their home. So that is the great challenges because not everybody know how important is this documentary heritage, and they may keep up on their rooftop and maybe they just kept in their...
Not properly managed.
Yeah, not properly managed, and sometimes the current generation maybe successfully manage that documentary heritage, but after they pass away, so their next generation maybe just destroy it. So that is actually for Malaysian quite a great challenge for us to get and to trace all this documentary heritage from all over the state in Malaysia.
Yeah. Thank you, Dato. I think, yes, I have to agree with you because I think collaboration should be the future for Malaysia documentary heritage. Because many digitization projects in other countries such as Colorado digitization project, American Memory, California digital libraries, and today I heard about Asian digital libraries. It's a collaboration effort, yeah? Because with this collaboration we can avoid duplication of effort and also maximizing the benefits of digitization. So maybe Dr. Azman, you want to add about this collaboration?
Yeah, I think that is a very economical way of preserving our or documenting our heritage. And I think this problem is a global problem. When it comes to records and archive, getting fund is always problematic, very challenging, be it in the public or private sector, right? So the best way is to get a strategic partnership. And the Faculty of Information Management, we have our Memorandum of Understanding with the National Archive of Malaysia. So hopefully by having this kind of memorandum, it will facilitate collaboration between experts in these two institutions, right? And there are a lot of research done internationally. When I studied in Glasgow, in Humanities Advanced Technology and Information Institute, they have quite a small number of researchers, but they work tremendously doing research on cultural heritage. And when we talk about the past, our concern, because we are now, so our concern about what we left behind. But if we think about the future, right? When perhaps we are no more here in this world, right? What we have now, what is considered current now, are they well preserved now? Because if I read literatures written by Clancy, a British, and also Otlet, a Frenchman, about information object. It can be in many forms. And nowadays, in digital world, in digital age, there are so many digital objects published on YouTube, on media socials. So how are we going to preserve this as evidence of our civilization? Younger generation, they just enjoy utilizing the technology, publishing, uploading, whatever they wish to upload, right? But come 50 years from now, what they publish today is actually evidence of what we have. And we left it for our future generation. So to prevent is always better than to cure. So while we're curing what in the past, don't forget to prevent for the future. So I think research is a must. Now, I would like to highlight this. I attended a knowledge management seminar a few years ago, right? One of the speakers mentioned about what they call it ROCK, R-O-C-K. It's not rock and roll, right? ROCK is retention of corporate knowledge. All right, an international oil and gas company, right? How do they capture knowledge of their almost retired staff with experience of 35 years in the service? Once they left the company, they left everything. But the company should gain their knowledge. So this is what we say, documenting it, knowledge, right? And I'm more concerned in what we have now because, analog information object is more stable as compared to digital information object. What we preserve in the analog form, we preserve the content, the context, or whatever metadata that is attached to the information object. But in digital form, it will be very challenging. We might have the container. Most of us in the age of 50 to 60, right? Last time we used to have this 5.5-inch floppy disk, which is really floppy. Right? We keep them nicely, but we forgot to keep the machine to read it. So availability doesn't mean it is accessible. And accessibility doesn't mean it is understandable, readable. Because of the characters, the software, the version, they are all different. So how can we be certain about this? So I think many of the speakers has mentioned there is no one size fits all solution, there is one. And there is a never-ending challenge to our profession because technology keeps changing. And I think that's why more research needs to be done. And collaborative effort is a must for us to be more pragmatic, and the benefits should reach the society at large. So thank you.
Okay, Dr. Noorhidawati, you want to comment anything on that?
Okay, for my side, I would like to bring attention to the experience of University Malaya. When we did our collaboration work with DBP, as mentioned by one of the speaker, Ms. Kamaria, just now, on Malay manuscript collection. Okay, we had the project since 2009, but apparently when the person in charge, the professor in charge of the project has retired, okay, and the people that work closely to the project has not anymore working with the university. So we're having problem in basically sustaining the project, okay, with the financial constraints when the research grant that being used for the project basically ended, okay. So we are struggling actually to find financial support in order to maintain the system, okay, basically the hardware and software, because again the technology obsolete quickly. So these are the challenge that we are facing in terms of collaborative works, or else even a single own project. Therefore, I would like to highlight that in doing collaboration, we need to hand in hand finding a mutual agreements, okay, on who's should handle the take over the project when the other party did not able to do it, basically. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Doc. So maybe I would like to open Q&A to the audience, maybe one or two questions before we wrap up the session. Yes, please. Your name and institution, please.
Thank you. Thank you, panelists. It was a very interesting day. I have lots of notes, lots of questions, but I think some of the speakers already clarified that. I have one very important thing. Since this morning, they're saying that tomorrow, in the next 3 days, the experts will be meeting over the next 3 days to plan a program of action. Now, my name is Diana. I'm from the Malaysian Tourist Guides Council. I'm also a licensed tourist guide myself. And from the information I learned today, I have to use the word learned, because some of the information I didn't know. And being a mini ambassador of the country, we have so much of resources and so much information, and we being the frontliners, I'm speaking for myself, maybe my colleagues here, they are better read than me. I didn't know about it, and I see the potential in us in not only promoting Malaysia, but also our culture and heritage. And this is the aim of what UNESCO is doing with this Memory of the World. And I hope that over the next 3 days, the panelists can get some ideas from our ASEAN members, +3, especially from China, Japan, and Korea, how they do it to instill a love of our culture and heritage, especially amongst the young. Doctor mentioned something very interesting. How do we get our younger generation interested? Now, by coincidence, the Malaysian Tourist Guides Council, we have just finalized a training syllabus for tourist guides to conduct educational tours in Malaysia. Now, some of our ASEAN neighbors have very good educational tours to Malaysia, whereby our guides have to follow a syllabus. They even have to come up with workbooks for the children. Tours to Malaysia is not bringing them to a shopping mall and let them run wild. Tours to Malaysia, the guides are evaluated, the teachers are there to monitor, the students go back with a workbook. So we are trying to change the learning environment of our children, because they will be our future generation, as mentioned by the speakers. They will have the passion. Doctor, you mentioned about the passion is very important. Everyone here has a passion to learn what this program is all about. And Memory of the World is something that it's going to be fantastic. Now, if we do it right, from the children in the primary school to the secondary school, even the university students, when they do educational tours, they genuinely learn about our history and our culture. And when they go back, they can talk to their parents, talk to their friends. And these are the very people, Doctor, they can come and tell you, my great-grandmother has a book in the attic that I think it could be interest to the National Archives. Now, we need to do the spread. And I would like to offer my over 5,000 members, my tourist guides, to be your messengers. But we need you to tell us what you have, and for us to work with you. And I'm very happy our moderator, Dr. Zuraida, you're here because you're with the Ministry of Education. That is the place we should start. We cannot turn the clock back, but we have to think of the future. If we start doing the educational programs for the school children in a better way, and not for them to have holidays, but really educational tours, I think they will learn a lot. And they will be the ones to carry on what you people have done. I've heard National Archives, I've heard Dewan Bahasa Pustaka, so much has been done. But all this information is kept. Who is assessing it? Who is using it? It's wasted. So I think access to use primary school, the educators, the people with the love of our history and heritage. And the big advancement is, if it's on this platform that is accessible all over the world, we can even attract international researchers to Malaysia to study about our history and our culture. So I hope the challenges are really the way forward, because that's going to tell us what we do that is going to be appropriate. We cannot be doing, last time I used to do this, it doesn't work now. So my offer is here, my members are ready. We can work together with anyone. We are actually arranging after the Ramadan. We want to visit all the, we want to all the galleries, the memorials, because it's part of our educational program for members. So I hope we are open. If you need to contact us for any training, we are more than happy to attend and be trained. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. We will take the inputs. I think maybe National Library or even the universities, I think, can see how we can enhance our services to ensure that it will go to the younger generation. I see a few hands, yes? Diane, can I have your contact number later? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much to everybody for the whole day. It's been very, very interesting indeed. And I'd like to pick up especially on the last speaker. My name is Helen Jarvis, and I'm here and will be part of the consultation through the next few days. I'm a member of the International Advisory Committee of the Memory of the World. I come from Australia, but I live in Cambodia. I've been there nearly 20 years. And I worked here in Malaysia with some of the libraries and archives before a few years ago. So I thought that last comments really, and the offer was extremely important and actually is the fruit of the day, I think, to say that Diane spoke about how much she found out was going on that she didn't know about, because we haven't reached out and we haven't got through, and the need to get through to the next generation. I just wanted to mention something that may come up perhaps in the next few days, but we have in the Memory of the World recently adopted a strategy of establishing what we call knowledge centres, Memory of the World knowledge centres. And the first one was opened last year in Macau, and some of us were there for the opening of that. I think there's another one coming in Korea, and I'm not sure. Do we have others on the way that we know of yet? Yeah, there are others being thought about. But the idea of the knowledge centre they have in Macau it's in a library, university library, where there's a corner with Memory of the World information. And connected to that also in Macau was activity of a school, a primary school. And we went to visit this school where every single classroom was focusing as a project on Memory of the World and Memory of the World studies, as they call it. And each class selected one item from the Memory of the World register and did research about it, presentations. We had a whole afternoon there at the school, and we saw poster exhibitions and even some drama and little film clip and things like this. So there are so many educational activities that can be built around the items on the register, which excite the imagination, I think. And are a really useful learning tool. So thank you for introducing that idea. Thank you.
Yes, our gentleman.
Boss, hello. Okay, assalamualaikum and very good afternoon. I waited for the whole day to ask question. Now, today we have heard about preservation and access to the documents of importance in terms of heritage. But I would like to ask one question I think it is relevant to not only the National Archives, but also to National Library and other relevant agencies. My name is Megah Iskandar. I'm a researcher. To be more specific, I'm a genealogist, family researcher. Okay. And in my experience, I was made to understand that there is a law in Malaysia that prevents access to certain documents. Okay, my experience. I'm going to share to you my experience. I've been blacklisted by National Archives for 2 times. Why? Because I wanted to access my great-grandfather's personal file. And then I was made to understand that there's a law in Malaysia saying that these personal files can be accessed by 5 individuals. Number 1, the person himself. Number 2, the siblings. Number 3, the children. Number 4, the parents. And number 5, spouses. Okay, now, I'm a great-grandchild. My great-grandfather died in 1970. Okay, all his children are also, now everyone is dead. Okay, so how am I going to get their permission to access my great-grandfather's file? When I did my research in the United Kingdom, okay, I did research on someone who is not related through blood to me. I think those who are who studied history may know the name of Richard Olaf Winstead. Okay, I researched about him, and I requested at the Public Record Office his personal file and his birth certificate and his death certificate without any fuss. So my question to the authorities here, I think that there are representatives of these authorities in this room. How are you going to remedy this situation? Because we are talking about accessibility here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tuan Megat. Okay, none of the panels are from Arcade Negara. Anybody from Arcade Negara that can answer the question? Do we have anybody from Arcade Negara? Because this is something got to do with the National Archive Act. Anybody? None? Okay, we will KIV your question and we will try to make National Archive to answer to your question. Tuan Megat? Okay, thank you very much. Any more question? One last question before we close the session? Any more? No more? Oh, okay, sorry.
Can I use this mic? Yes. So today we have talked about the preservation and access to the documentary heritage or cultural heritage, and especially after the first session, a gentleman raised the question about the cultural heritage hit by natural disaster, tsunami, and also hit by the nuclear pollution. And by the way, I'm Haga from Japan, and I'm a vice chair of the National Committee of the Memory of the World, Japan. And I just want to say, unfortunately, we are hit by these disasters, tsunami and nuclear plant explosion. And that is why we are accumulating lessons that we have learned from these disasters. And we like to share this with you, with the world. And that is why we have in our National Library archives specialized on these 2 disasters, or the great, we call it Great East Japan Earthquake. And so I just want to tell you and share with you that we are accumulating the information, and we'll be glad to share that information. That is on the internet. So please share that information with you. I'd like to do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's already the end of the session. Okay, I just would like to share a few quotes here. Benwell, the father of cinematic, opined that Our memory is our coherence, our reason, our feelings, even our action, and without it, we are nothing. So the importance of accessibility and preservation of national documentary heritage should be the focus for every cultural institution, and the use of technology have to be well planned and with cautious. The effort should not be the role of an individual institutions, okay, but it should be viewed as a national agenda towards dissemination, preservation, and promotion of the nation's cultural heritage information. And I would like to conclude the session with remarks by Oliver Sacks in his book, The Lost Mariner. If a man has lost a leg or an eye, he knows he has lost them. But if he lost his memory, he is no longer there to know it. So let's take care and safeguard our nation's memory. With that, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And a big hand to our panelists here. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our panelists and moderator for the session on the preservation of and access to Malaysia's documentary heritage in the context of the UNESCO Recommendation and Memory of the World Programme. Now I would like to invite on stage Ms. Misako Ito, Advisor in Communication and Information, UNESCO Bangkok, on behalf of UNESCO, to present a memento to our panelists and moderator. I would like to invite Yang Berbahagia Dato Nafisah. Next, I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Noorhidawati. Associate Professor Dr. Azman. And last but not least, our moderator, Associate Professor Dr. Zuraida. Thank you, Ms. Misako Ito. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of the International Symposium on Preservation and Access, Southeast Asia's Documentary Heritage in the Digital Age. In conjunction with this program, there is an exhibition held from 8th until 12th of May 2017 on the UNESCO Memory of the World related to the preservation of documentary heritage in the Art Gallery in Matic. Ladies and gentlemen, there are light refreshments prepared outside the hall, and on behalf of the organizer, I would like to thank everyone who's present today for our symposium, and we hope that this symposium has been beneficial to you, and we hope to see you again. Thank you.